older we get, the wiser we become naturally. But if you're like me, you might be starting to get worried that you're not actively getting smarter. I'm about to turn 31 and I seriously just started reading books as an adult. I have a shoddy memory and kind of a limited vocabulary, and throughout the course of my 20s, I really wasn't doing much about it. I was kind of avoiding it. But in order to really step into becoming a more intelligent person, we really have to take an active approach. Yo, it's your friendly neighborhood knucklehead here, and in this video I want to talk about one of the biggest transformations that I made this year to start growing my mind, expanding my intelligence. And so first, I really had to confront the fear of looking dumb. And I think rooted in all of us is this fear that we're gonna be humiliated or ostracized, or we're just not gonna come off looking like the best representation of ourselves. So in order to really start this process, we have to accept our ignorance. We have to allow ourselves to not be knowledgeable on stuff in conversation. We have to allow others to talk. We have to learn how to listen. We have to take our ego out of things a little bit in order to let information come and fill that space. And then even stepping into taking action, like if we want to become an artist, we have to kind of go out there and make those mistakes. We learn by doing. Even in school, when a teacher shows us stuff, how do we really learn? We have to take it home, practice it, do it in your homework, study for those tests, perform. But really, we have to get into the habit of doing these things, making mistakes, learning about stuff. We have to overcome and really attack that fear that we have of looking dumb, of looking ignorant, of making mistakes. And so once we allow ourselves to be in that vulnerable state, next we should adopt this growth mindset, have this mentality of a student, that we're here to learn every day. Every day we are here to learn. It's like the old saying, you learn something new every day. But the reality is, we'll learn something new every day if we allow ourselves to. Now, when we're in the student mindset, when we have the growth mentality, when we're in this vulnerable place, it's very important that we're compassionate with ourselves. Give ourselves some patience, give ourselves some time to step into this new outlook and identity. I think we have this thing of telling ourselves that we should always know better. We're always giving ourselves tough love, and I think that comes from the ego a lot of times, thinking that we should know better, we should have done better, we should have learned from things that happened in the past. Oh, we're making the same mistakes, what's wrong with us? But really, it's kind of like training a puppy. Are you really gonna get super mad at this puppy? It doesn't know any better. You have to train it, you have to have patience. I learned a ton from having to train a dog. And let me see some dog emojis in the comment section if you've had to train a puppy. It really puts you in the mindset, really you have to check your ego, because that puppy is a reflection on you. And just like getting upset with that dog is not going to teach it anything other than to fear you, getting upset with yourself, it's kind of the same thing. You're gonna begin to be scared of yourself. And that's when we go all the way back to square one, when we're afraid of being stupid, afraid of making mistakes. We're indulging in that fear. But really step back, let go, surrender. Give yourself that time, patience, and compassion to be able to learn and grow. And now when we're in this surrendered state, we're vulnerable, we've let go of our ego, we're here to learn, we're here to listen. The next step is really to attack those insecurities. I've been trying to attack my limited vocabulary, my habit of speaking too quickly, and just kind of running my mouth. I really wanted to attack the process of slowing myself down, expanding my vocabulary, and really allowing some time for my thoughts to respond to things and other people and conversations and things like that. And for me, it started with confronting the fact that I was not a good reader growing up. I had some real reading comprehension difficulties. My mind was always wandering. I was a real daydreamer. We moved around a lot as a kid, and I was never really comfortable in too many school environments. I wasn't comfortable with kids around me, really. And in fact, in 3rd grade, they even moved me to the class for English as a second language. So I was in a classroom for English class in elementary school with kids that spoke Spanish because I was just so far behind in trying to comprehend English reading and having those reading skills. It kind of gave me this fear that I was getting judged and that reading comprehension and reading in general was going to bring out this notion that I'm not really like everybody else because I can't really hang, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. So I kind of neglected reading and all that stuff. Kind of through college, I mean, I read to get through the classes, but most of the time in my adult life, I didn't really go out of my way to find books to read. But here I am now, pushing 31, and I got a bedtime book, a morning book, a book to read at work, and a couple books that just live in my backpack for whenever I have, a moment to pick them up. I am fully invested now in trying to expand my reading skills. Of course, I'm by no means an expert on this stuff yet, but I'm really embracing this learning process of becoming more knowledgeable and becoming more well-read and becoming more well-spoken. Now give me a comment below. What is your learning process? What's something that you think you can face head on to start expanding your intelligence in something? All right, if you made it to this part of the video, it's time to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And up in this corner, I'm gonna put a video on avoiding burnout. When you step in to this new habit, new identity of what you're doing, this video will help make sure that you can sustain it as a part of your identity. And up here is another video on the seasons of manifesting, how to elongate your energy and organize yourself properly to really step into the new person you're trying to become. Thanks so much for watching and stay creative.